Hello, welcome to Juniper Level Botanic Garden, the home of Plant Delights Nursery. My responsibilities here are very varied. Sometimes I put on this really cute bee costume and hand-pollinated some things. There's one Hymenocallis that does not set seed unless we hand-pollinate it. But let me take one step backwards and talk about the Hymenocallis. This is not the one that I hand pollinate, but the flower really clearly shows why they have the scientific name of Hymenocallis. They are sometimes called spider lilies, but so are lycoris and a number of other things. But the scientific name of Hymenocallis means beautiful membrane. Actually, it means membrane beautiful. Hymenocallis. Callus is beautiful, like a calla lily or calycanthus or calicarpa. And you can see that it has 6 tepals, these long, slender, spidery-like tepals. And tepals is the term we use when the sepals and the petals are both petal-like. A lot of things in that, a lot of monocots, you know, the lilies and the amaryllis family and similar families have sepals and petals that are both petal-like. But the hymen, the membrane, is this membrane that unites the base of the 6 tepals. And so that's why they are called Hymenocallis. Again, that big group of monocot plants tend to have 6 stamens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the stamens are the part of the plant that bears the pollen. The male part of the flower has a really long filament, and then the actual anther up at the terminus of the filament. And you can see it's orange with pollen. And pollen is probably most often yellow or orange, but some species have pollen of other colors. And then typically they have one stigma. And I did not intend to pull this one out, but I did. And it has a long tube, and then the stigma, the actual receptive part up at the tip. And so the pollen has to get transferred from the anther up to the stigma, and then the poor little pollen grain has to germinate and grow all the way down to the ovary. Now, this is the particular Hymenocallis that I hand pollinate, because we don't get any seed set if it's not hand pollinated. And it's a really beautiful Mexican species. It's Hymenocallis azteciana, referring to the Aztecs, of course. And it's interesting in that the foliage is somewhat blue. It's also a lot less voluminous compared to most other Hymenocallis. You know, has these great big long flower stalks. Now, we're shooting this late on a very warm summer day. The Hymenocallis are, you know, pleasant enough through the heat of the day, but they really freshen up in the early evening. Like a lot of crinums, the flowers will perk up, they'll hold themselves out proudly, and then some of them get really fragrant in the evening, and whatever pollinates them in the wild must visit them at that time. And so I pollinated these this morning, and let me see, there was plenty of pollen this morning, but I'm not seeing any right now. But well, we'll pretend that these are dried up. Let me grab them. You know, in the morning they're really a whole lot bigger. That other Hymenocallis had better looking ones, but I just take them and brush them if I brush them against the stigma, and it just takes a little bit of pollen, and the seed should be set and the fruit should develop. I do it, they're in bloom for 2 or 3 weeks, and I try to do it every morning. And last year we had a good seed set, and in a moment we'll show you some of last year's seedlings. The Hymenocallis are really variable. Some are very drought tolerant, others will grow in standing water. One of our most beautiful native Hymenocallis is the Cahaba lily, or the Rocky Shoals lily, 2 common names for the same species. It's Hymenocallis coronaria, and it only grows in rocky rivers where the water is moving, and you can see them in the Catawba River south of Charlotte in South Carolina. They're also common in some rivers in Alabama and a number of other places as well. This species will grow in full sun. Our big stock block in the nursery is full sun, and this is a location where it's bright shade most of the day, a little bit of direct sun about midday. We're down in one of our prop houses, and these are the seedlings produced from the hand-pollinations last year. And I am really one proud papa to see that this was the result of our hand-pollinations last year. These might be blooming-sized plants in a couple more years, and eventually we'll have enough to share with you. Thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you again in the garden.